Meet the man who shoots at birds all day to keep them off a toxic pit.
Every round in this rifle could save a bird's life. The splash of the bullet scares migrating species off this mile-long toxic lake in Montana. As birds land there for more than a few hours, the acidic water cooks them from the inside out.
Jesus.
It's Mark Mariano's mission to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yep, Mark Mariano, Waterfowl Protection Specialist. We invented that title, but it fits.
Good job, Mark.
He uses a...
Bro, just put a tarp over the fucking pool, dude. Just drain the acidic, like, what other purposes does it have?
multi-million-dollar arsenal of high-tech tools to keep birds off of what used to be a copper mine in Butte, Montana.
But why?
This is the one everybody likes to see, though. Do you get to fly the drone? That's what they all say. No.
What's now a toxic bird bath...
You dumbass, the acid is going to eat through the tarp. You wouldn't have it be touching the water, you dumbass. Calling me a dumbass?
Started out as an open pit mine 65 years ago. But in 1982, the company that owned the mine shut down the water pumps. Groundwater started to seep in,
No, you're right, though.
sulfuric acid that leached metals out of the rock. People have been shooing birds off the Berkeley pit ever since. And some of the methods they've developed here could help protect the estimated hundreds of millions of birds killed by industrial activity every year.
How many birds fly into the jet of a plane?
Snow geese, avocets, and grebes are just a few of the species that stop in Butte on their journey north in spring and south in fall. And Mark loves them all.
Your widgeon, teal. I mean, I dream, sleep, eat, and poop, ducks.
This Mark guy, pretty interesting.
We obviously...
I think the jet goes higher than the birds, Henry. No, but there's been instances of like when a plane's taking off or when it's landing of geese like flying into or like birds flying into the jets. That's happened before.
Over the top with the wildlife decor.
I wonder how often that happens. I too poop ducks.
This one and I told her it was stupid, and now I love it.
But the sounds that repel birds,
dude, why do I fucking love Mark,
natural.
Bro?
So we're gonna move it over. There it goes. Always when you're trying to talk.
The first line of defense is 4 so-called whalers. They randomly play a series of alarms to annoy the birds.
You can hear these things on a nice warm summer night all across Butte.
And propane cannons hooked up to timers fire all day.
They mimic gunfire, which a lot of the birds are scared of for obvious reasons.
On special occasions, the birds might get their own private fireworks display.
This is a kind of a last resort, or we know, something big would be coming. We've used them twice.
One of Mark's favorite tools is meant for spot.
Like, bro, doesn't this remind you guys of like, have you seen those TikToks of that guy that spends all that time cleaning those rugs? Like, he spends hours or days taking this rug that's just been through hell and back with let's just like caked in mud and dirt, and he recovers it and brings it back to like life. You guys have never seen, they're super satisfying to watch, but like all the comments are like, bro, at that point, just get a new rug. You know what I mean? That's kind of the same analogy of like what I'm seeing. Like, doesn't this feel like a really dumb way to fix a problem? Like, am I the only one that's kind of bothered by this? You know what I mean? It's like, if you have a giant lake or a giant body of water that's acidic, what other purpose does it have aside from killing birds? Right? So like, doesn't it seem like a weird use of resources to like put these guys out here and like set up all this infrastructure to like keep the birds off of it when you could literally just get rid of the water? Like, I don't know how that's done, but like, don't we do that? Don't we like, there's man-made lakes and ponds and dams everywhere. Like, can't we just get rid of the water? I mean, I don't know how they drain it. Like, I don't know, take a bunch of dirt from somewhere and dump it in. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Doesn't it just seem like there'd be a like, wouldn't doing that once cost way less than paying all these guys? Yeah, maybe I need to watch the video. That's right. Maybe I'm gonna look like an idiot at the end of this.
Before they get wet.
It's a $5,000 Swarovski scope.
But after nearly 4 years on the job, he can usually spot them with the naked eye.
Can you see them? I'm going to keep laying on them because if we can keep them from landing, that's always the best.
HQ is this small hut, along the same ridge where the mine's dispatcher used to direct trucks. They call it the Bird Shack.
We've discussed renaming it something more professional sounding than Bird Shack, but it's
Bird Shack's
become such
awesome.
kind of a colloquial term that we kept it.
During peak season, someone like Mark comes up here every hour to do what they call hazing. That's the technical term for annoying birds that land on the pit, so they fly away.
We got a group coming in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And it looks like more shovelers.
So there's 33.
2, 3, 43.
When they first started scaring off birds 30 years ago,
I wonder how many birds they've accidentally
their
shot.
only tools were a rifle and a clipboard. They didn't even have heat during the long Montana winters. For the most part, it worked. Even if the miners' records looked like a real-life game of duck, duck, goose. That changed in 2016. Snow geese migrate through Montana every year, but that November, an estimated 60,000 of them landed on the pit.
Essentially, the entire snow goose population of our flyway came overnight, hit a nasty storm, and ended up using the worst rest stop that they possibly could.
Oh, damn.
This could be myth now, you know. But they shot the gun so many times, the barrel like essentially curved because it got too hot.
Jeez.
About 3,000 birds died in a matter of days, according to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
Those guys choke up when they, a burly miner talking about coming out here and seeing, thousands of snow geese on there.
After that, the companies working to clean up the pit brought in
What a beautiful picture, though. Like, I know that's like acidic and gross, but what a gorgeous state, dude. I want to visit Montana one time. That is really sad. It's what, like, dead birds. I don't know. There's something really like depressing and sad and about that. You know what I mean? More so than other animals, I feel.
The researchers discovered that the pit attracts over 50 bird species, not just ducks and geese. The companies invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into fancy high-tech tools, but many
Oh my God,
didn't work.
it's a bird.
It turns out that each kind of bird
Controlled by a
responds
man.
differently.
With each of the technologies, as well as the simple stuff, a combo of them can help sometimes. And then usually one will pick up where the other leaves off.
The aerial drone is most effective when birds land on ice or the shore, where there's a risk a bullet could ricochet. Mark's high-powered laser works well on American coots and other species that like to migrate at night.
Interesting.
In 2016, they custom-built drones just for the pit. Early prototypes combined 3D printed parts with boogie boards and kid-sized kayaks.
That's so cool.
So they're at your 10 o'clock.
Today, technicians use a remote control to operate what they call the water dog.
Here's the group. Oh, they probably went out of your view to the left a little
What
bit.
a sick
Sometimes
job,
the boat
dude.
gets the birds to lift off. Then a rifle shot gets them to fly away. This new and improved suite of tools has a near-perfect record of keeping birds off this deadly human-made mess. Successful programs like the one at the pit are more important than ever.
Like, imagine your job was just to scare
population
birds.
has
That's like something you do when you're in like kindergarten on the, like you're walking through a parking lot and you see a group of like seagulls and like is standing on the blacktop or whatever. You just run and make them all fly away.
disappeared since 1970.
That's like so fun. Imagine that you got paid to do that.
Mining is to blame for destroying habitat, but some cleanup efforts have worked, just not always in the way people expect. For a prime example of that, you need to travel about 20 miles downstream. Every year, hundreds of thousands of birds stop here, the Warm Springs Wildlife Management Area. It's where researchers Stella Kaposha and Gary Swant come to count birds.
Oh, we've got some American absets.
These scientists helped design the pit's upgraded protection program.
The reports that we do here on Mondays and Wednesdays are posted in the Bird Shack. So these miners have a good predictive instrument of what might be in the pit. Here's a cinnamon teal that you probably haven't seen one of those yet this year.
During peak season, Gary's grandson also helps with the count.
We'll usually peak at like 50,000, 60,000 birds in the valley, and those are long days. Those are like 10-hour days.
The team comes to Warm Springs because it's a biodiverse haven that has hosted more than half of Montana's bird species. But just like the Berkeley Pit, it was created by humans.
This is a constructed area
Beans,
that now
potatoes, tomatoes,
has
mayo,
been turned into a preserve for the wildlife.
In 1908, a flood washed mining waste from Butte into local waterways. It killed fish and made the water unsafe for humans. After that catastrophe, these ponds were built so that hard metals could seep out of the water before they run downstream. Giant hoppers neutralize the water with lime. That keeps things clean and safe enough for wildlife.
So why don't they do that on the other one?
So the event happened in a single month in 1908, and here we are still getting it cleaned up.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting bored too, but we're so close, and I want to know if I want to learn something.
Because we can correct the problems of the past.
Experts caution that it's impossible to erase over 100 years of mining pollution. But with people like Gary, Stella, and Mark on the job, the future for Montana's birds might be looking up. But not if you're a wild turkey.
I am by no means
Not on Thanksgiving.
a seasoned turkey hunter, so this is my very first. But we saved everything.
Mark takes pride in not letting anything go to waste.
I made it real traditional, like a chicken noodle soup. It's even gluten-free.
Oh, yeah.
You can believe that.
Has anyone ever pointed out to you the irony of the fact that your entire job is to keep wild birds safe and you go hunting?
I'm a big waterfowl hunter as well, and what that has taught me about protecting the waterfowl at the pit is just priceless. I wake up without an alarm every morning, and I'm, happy to go, literally rescue birds. And most days you walk home, with your head held high.
Can I date Mark? Is Mark single? Can I be friends with Mark, please? This is the most American way of preserving wildlife I've ever seen. True. Pretty cool to see a guy so passionate about a job that most people didn't even know existed. That's what I'm saying, bro. He's so, can't you just tell he's so into it? There's something so, that feeling when you're around somebody that's just really into what they're doing? Like they just love it so much and they love talking about it. That energy you get from that person is it's addictive. It's so fun to be around that energy all the time. Oh man, that's awesome. Good for him, man.